In the deserts of tomorrow, we don't plant seeds in soil. We grow life in water.
This living liquid is the most efficient protein generator on Earth.
Harnessing solar energy directly, these cells double in mass every few hours.
Precision farming requires constant vigilance over pH, temperature, and light. A precise cocktail of minerals feeds the bloom, optimizing growth rates. Constant motion prevents sedimentation and ensures every cell gets its moment in the sun. When the culture turns this deep emerald, it is ready for harvest.
Millions of liters are released simultaneously, beginning the journey to processing.
The harvest travels through these arteries, leaving the cultivation fields behind. High-pressure systems maintain flow velocity, preventing stagnation.
Quality control begins before the product even leaves the field.
Kilometers of infrastructure connect the farm to the factory heart.
Streams from different zones merge, unifying the harvest.
Maintaining pressure is critical. Too high, and the delicate cells rupture too soon.
Buffer zones ensure the factory receives a steady, manageable feed.
The biological clock never stops. Neither does the extraction process.
We have arrived at the threshold of transformation.
Here, the raw biology meets industrial engineering. Beneath the facility, a vascular system transports the green gold. This chamber generates the heartbeat of the entire operation. Digital nervous systems monitor every liter that passes through. Sorting begins immediately, separating batches by quality grade.
Visual inspection ports allow operators to verify consistency instantly.
The immense energy of the flow is tamed to protect the infrastructure.
Transporting biomass requires efficiency to prevent spoilage.
Chilling the harvest immediately halts biological degradation. Debris and foreign matter are stripped away in the first line of defense. A slight pressure drop indicates the filters are doing their job. Before processing, the harvest accumulates in these massive reservoirs. Here, the batch is homogenized, blending into a uniform mixture.
Slow agitation prevents the algae from settling into a sludge.
When the plant calls for feedstock, these pumps answer instantly. Crossing into the main processing facility, the environment changes.
Contamination control is stricter here. The raw phase is over. Every inch of the transport line is sterilized to food-grade standards. The journey ends here, and the refinement begins. This facility is a cathedral of modern bioengineering. Every gram of raw material is accounted for upon entry. Strict protocols ensure only authorized materials enter the ecosystem.
A symphony of logistics orchestrates the flow of resources. Inside these walls, nature's design is perfected by human hands.
The human element remains the most critical component of all.
Hygiene protocols begin long before the production floor.
Contamination is the enemy. Cleanliness is the law.
Protective gear shields both the worker and the product.
High-velocity air strips away invisible dust particles.
The arteries of the factory guide us to the heart of production.
From here, the scale of the operation becomes truly apparent.
The central brain monitors pressures, temperatures, and flows globally.
Stepping onto the floor, the energy is palpable.
Designated paths keep workers safe amidst the mechanical giants. Every zone is demarcated, every hazard accounted for.
The raw harvest enters the building here, ready for refinement.
Verification is complete. The processing can begin.
Vibrating screens catch any unwanted solids from the harvest.
The biomass is already thickening as water is removed.
These centrifuges spin at thousands of RPM to separate water from cell. Centrifugal force flings the heavy cells outward, leaving clear water behind. The water is recycled, returning to the fields to grow more life. The remaining paste is now 10 times denser than the harvest.
Washing removes salts and impurities adhering to the cell walls.
A second spin ensures the biomass is perfectly clean.
This is the raw algal cake, packed with potential.
The cake travels to the most violent stage of the process.
Safety sensors ensure no machinery fragments have contaminated the batch. An auger screw force feeds the material into the disruption chamber. Pressure builds as the material is compressed for the next step.
Gentle heating prepares the cell walls for rupture.
Precision is key. Too hot, and the proteins denature. A momentary pause before the high-pressure event. The machinery ahead operates at pressures that can cut steel.
Safety protocols mandate a clear zone during startup.
The homogenizer forces the cells through a microscopic gap.
Under immense shear force, the tough cell walls shatter.
The pressure drops instantly, releasing the valuable payload.
Rapid cooling preserves the nutritional integrity of the protein.
We now have a soup of cell debris, oil, and soluble protein.
Adjusting the pH makes the protein soluble, separating it from the solids.
Time is allowed for the protein to dissolve completely.
Now we separate the solid shells from the liquid protein.
The cell walls are removed, sold as animal feed or fertilizer.
This liquid holds the isolated protein, pure and potent. Membrane filtration concentrates the protein further.
Water molecules pass through, but the large protein chains are trapped. The result is a high-concentration protein syrup.
Lowering the pH again causes the protein to solidify and fall out of solution.
Like making cheese, the protein coagulates into tangible mass.
One last wash ensures no chemical residues remain.
We have successfully isolated the building blocks of life. The extraction is complete. Now, we must dry it for the world.
To dry the protein, we must first turn it back into a sprayable liquid.
Consistent viscosity ensures the spray dryer operates without clogging.
The liquid is pumped to the very top of the drying tower.
This cathedral of steel is where the transformation happens.
The atomizer turns the liquid into a fog of microscopic droplets. 200-degree air evaporates the moisture in a fraction of a second.
It rains protein inside the tower, 24 hours a day.
Cyclones separate the fine powder from the exhaust air using centrifugal force.
Airlocks let the powder out without losing the vacuum pressure. The hot powder is instantly cooled to preserve its bioavailability.
Only the finest particles make it past the final screen.
Air pressure transports the finished product to the packaging silos.
Automated logic routes the batch to the designated quarantine silo.
Nothing leaves this area until the laboratory gives the green light.
A representative sample is the key to quality assurance. Here, science confirms what engineering has produced.
Particle size consistency determines how well the protein will mix in water.
We verify the protein content down to the decimal point.
Too much moisture means shelf life risk. It must be bone dry.
We scan for purity at the atomic level, ensuring zero contamination.
Bacterial safety is non-negotiable for food products.
Machines measure data, but humans must verify the taste and texture.
With the lab's blessing, the batch is released for packaging. The bulk powder is transferred to the blending suite.
Pure protein is often mixed with natural flavors before packaging.
Precise recipes create the flavors customers know and love.
Gentle folding ensures a perfect homogeneous blend. The formulated product is ready for the final retail line. This is the final leg of the journey. Chaos is ordered into a single, rapid stream of containers. Ionized air removes any static dust from the empty jars.
Ultraviolet light provides a final sterilization step.
High-speed servos fill each container to the exact gram.
Keeping the rim clean is essential for a perfect seal.
Any jar that is underweight is instantly rejected.
An electromagnetic field bonds the foil to the plastic instantly.
Caps are oriented and fed to the waiting containers.
Consistent torque ensures the package is secure but openable. X-rays look through the plastic to guarantee zero foreign objects.
Branding is applied via a full-body shrink sleeve. Steam molds the label perfectly to the container's curves. Traceability requires every unit to carry a permanent birth certificate.
The buffer table allows the packing robots to catch up.
Flat cardboard is transformed into shipping cases in seconds. Robotic precision prevents prettier heaters. Robotic precision prevents damage during the casing process. The case is sealed, ready for the rugged supply chain.
Logistics data is applied to the exterior for warehouse tracking.
Automation takes over the heavy lifting, saving human backs. The arm builds the pallet layer by layer with mathematical geometric logic. Stabilizing sheets tie the stack together for transport.
A full metric ton of plant protein is now ready to be secured.
Tensioned film locks the load to the pallet, preventing shifts.
This unique ID connects the physical stock to the digital cloud.
Robotic couriers transport the load to the warehouse without a driver. We enter the silent cathedral of logistics.
Thousands of tons of food are stored in these vertical canyons.
Automated cranes retrieve and store pallets in total darkness. Every location is mapped. Nothing is ever lost. The system constantly optimizes storage density and retrieval paths.
When the world calls, the factory answers.
First in, first out logic ensures freshness for the consumer.
In minutes, the product moves from deep storage to the dock.
Orders are consolidated, ready for the final leg.
A solid steel link allows heavy equipment to enter the vehicle.
The transport vessel must be as clean as the factory itself.
Loading is a game of Tetris, maximizing stability and space. Tight packing prevents damage during the kilometers ahead.
Pallet by pallet, the trailer reaches its capacity.
Cargo bars ensure the load doesn't shift when the brakes are hit.
Thanks.
Chain of custody is transferred, and the cargo is now the driver's responsibility. This seal guarantees the product arrives untouched.
The human element returns to guide the machine.
The power needed to move 40 tons wakes up.
With a release of air, the journey begins.
Leaving the safety of the facility, the product enters the world.
One final check at the perimeter, and they are clear.
From a single cell to a truckload, the cycle is complete.
The final destination, waiting for a hand to reach out.
Trust is earned when the label matches the promise.
In homes everywhere, the energy of the sun is unlocked.
Nutrient-dense, sustainable, and made for the future.
It dissolves instantly, ready to fuel the body.
Back at the source, the sun sets, but the work continues. Biology doesn't sleep, and neither does the demand for better food.
And this is how modern factories produce algae protein from start to finish.
Subscribe for more real factory breakdowns.